How are we doing, everyone? Time for another video. There's a lake behind me. I'm back at Lovells, but I'm not on the main lake. I'm going to come on to what they call the match lake, the long lake. We're going to give that a go today. It's Saturday. We've got an northeasterly wind all weekend. It is pretty cold. I'm going to get dressed in a minute properly. The main lake's got maybe 6 people on it, 7 I think, maybe 7 in fact. And I know during the week 3 of the big fish come out because my mate caught one and his mate caught the other 2. So I thought, right, now's a perfect opportunity. Let's try the long lake. So let me get some kits set up and we'll show you what's happening today. So I'm going to choose to fish a lifebuoy peg, what I'm going to call it. It's a couple up from peg 20. I'll show you there. The water is a little way up. It's clearing slowly. It's still a bit dirty. There's a couple of pole anglers right over in that bottom corner. I think that's the real deep part of it. But I believe out here in front of me in sort of the centre is about 17 to 20 feet, I believe. I might get the marker float out and just find that out. And I believe in the margin you may be 8 foot right in the edge here. So yeah, it's a different lake, isn't it? A different view. I don't really know what's in here. It's freezing cold. There is 2 bubbles just popped. I don't even know if that'll pick it up. Right on that surface. There's still one there, that single white bit. There's 2 bubbles just come up there. So that is right in the centre of the lake. So I might not put a marker float straight out. I might get a stick on there, bang, chuck it in and see. We'll marker float later on, I think. I'm just going to get some rods set up quick and then, yeah, I'll see when we're going to cast in. So now I'm in some warmer clothes. I don't really feel warm at the moment. I'll just run you through the rig. All 3 rods are the same. Korda tungsten dark matter tubing to their Korda run rig sleeve. 2.5 ounce running lead to a quick clip. Tungsten dark matter anti-tangle. About 6 inches of Korda dark matter tungsten braid. There's a theme going on here, Korda. Down to my little wafter rig that I had on in the last video. What's that, size 5 thinking anglers beak point hook with a little gooed up barrel on one of the sticks that takes ages to melt. So instead of getting all 3 rods set up and chucking them in, I'm going to do one at a time and just get fishing. So we'll just slide this sleeve on, we'll pull that down in the stick, let's get it in the pond. I'm going to put this one in the middle where I see it, where I see them bubbles, and we'll just see just how deep it is. I think it's going to take a while to drop. Oh wow. Yeah, that took a while. You'll see second rod exactly the same setup. That's going to go on this margin. Even that's deep. Okay, rod number 3, again exactly the same. All 3 rods are fished absolutely identical. So I'm going to put that one over there. It takes ages to sing. Cool, it's all 3 out. Get my bloody hands in me a little warmer. We're going to get the kettle on now. I'm going to leave the camera running because while I was setting the 3rd rod up, kingfisher come right across this near margin. I wish I had it running because it would have been a fantastic shot. So I'm going to bring you down a bit closer, get the kettle on, see if we can't catch a carp and maybe a kingfisher. So I thought I'd just set the scene as normal. Okay, I've got my rods here. 2 nets, my mat with a sling, that's close to hand. If I walk down, it looks further away than what it is. If I spin you around, I'm literally sitting there. Camera stand, kettle stand, my little chair. And look at these bad boys. Has anyone tried them? McVitie's Digestive Golds. I have saved some for today. I've got to be honest, I was really excited with those. I love a gold bar. They're not as good as I imagined, but they're still nice. But yeah, rods are out, kettle's on, All 3 rods today are going to have super slack lines going out. Don't even know if that shows it. Let's zoom in a bit. That's better, you can see super slack. I'm fishing, going down. Oh, let me zoom you back out. Going down a shelf. I'm on a shelf here close in. That's going down in a gully, so I want it to take the contour of the lake. Same with this one here. That's ever so slightly tighter because I'm a little bit further out. And I've also pointed out too, I've done a little thing on here saying, oh, look at the stalks. They're not stalks, they're called lesser egrets, I've been told. So yeah, thanks for that, because I thought they were stalks. But I'm going to sit back. I just thought I'd show you literally how close I am to my rod. So if I move my digestives, we'll sit back, I'm there. So if one goes, I'm close to hand. But I'm going to put the camera back on the stand now, make a coffee and see if we can't, I don't know, I'd take a kingfisher flying through there, or a carp today, because it's going to be a difficult one, I think, but you never know. Cheers all, first coffee's made. I'm going to have this and then I'm going to swap all 3 rods around. I'm sitting in my chair thinking, why are you fishing like your long chuck tapered mainline close in slack when my spare spools have got fluorocarbon on them? So I'm going to swap all 3 rods to fluorocarbon mainline so it sinks a lot better. And yeah, maybe even put a naked chod on. Excuse me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a separate video of like fluorocarbon line, how to use it, how to get the best from it, why you're using it, its pluses, its minuses, because a lot of people avoid that line because it's a difficult line to use, but it really can pay off, especially in a situation like I'm on now. That is the line I should be using without falling over. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish my coffee and then I'm going to make that video. I'll put a link to that in this description, so click on that and it will take you to it if you're interested. You lot that already know about it, you won't need to watch it because you'll know why I'm using it and yeah, basically how to use it. So I'm going to have my coffee and then I'll get on and change the rods over. Oh, we're away. That's in like 17 foot of water that's just come from. Mental. I've not even had time to drink the coffee, let alone swap the rods over. Just shows you though, slack lines and a running lead still hooks them. There's a myth that people say, oh, you need the lead to hook a fish. You really don't. Haven't even seen it yet. Don't think it's very big. result. Maybe a double figure common. Happy days. I'll just show you. I got that far down my coffee. That was on the rod. That I see that bubble when I just turned up and said there's a bubble popped. That's why I put that one out there. It's a nice deep margin here, so we can have a look. It's probably, is it a double figure common in there? Yeah. Yeah, nice. Right, I'll get the mat sorted. That's a better shot of him. And we'll get him out. You'll have to excuse the camera being on an angle if it is. I'm on an angled bank. Right then, Mr. Carpy. Maybe a double? Don't know. Come from proper deep water though, didn't you, mate? I was going to say, you're being a bit well behaved and now you're not. Let's have a quick look at the other side of you. And then we'll get you back, shall we? There you go. Thank you, mate. Happy days. Right, let's get him back. Oh, steady. Home time for you. He's not going to take much swimming back, is he? As soon as he finds his nose out of there. That's a good thing, isn't it? Hang on. Let's bring that back. Off you go, mate. See ya. Well, result. I can finish my coffee now, but I am still going to swap my rods over. I was having this and I was going to change it. Fluoro, I think, is going to be a much better way. Even though that got me a bite, I think I stand more of a chance of a bite. So hopefully that's not the only fish. But yeah, maybe a double common there to start with. So deep in the bottom of there, you can feel it is pumping all the way down there. When fish has got a depth of water to fight in, they fight so much harder. In a shallow lake, they just try and run away from you because they can't go down. Whereas in a deep lake here, they just go down. And I reckon I'm in at least 15 feet. I reckon more. But at the end of the day, I'm going to bring the marker float out. I'm not doing it now. I'm messing my swim up. Before I go home today, I'm going to get the marker out just out of curiosity and we'll find out how deep it is. But for now, I'm going to finish this, get the rod swapped over, and yeah, I'll see you when I'm ready again to catch another one. So you'll see down there's no rods in the water. My little camera stands there. I've just done my fluorocarbon line video. So yeah, if you're interested in that, have a look in the description. There's a link to it. If not, have a look on the channel. Just want to point out, I took all 3 rods out of the water before anyone says, oh, you left your rods in, you're walking away. All 3 rods come out. None are set back up yet. I think I'm going to put 2 back on a bottom bait. And then the 3rd one, I'm going to put on a naked chod. So we're back in. We're fishing again. 1 rod. I've put the chod over the spot that I caught the common from as a single bait. Just to see if I can get a pick up on that. The line is slackened off and you'll see it's drooping from the tip. I will take you down. And when all 3 rods are out, I'll show you again. And you'll see the difference how it just droops from the tip down. That will be pinned to the lake bed now. Even though it's super slack and you think, oh, it takes ages to get a bite, to get any indication on the bite, it really doesn't. It picks up so quick. I'm basically fishing a naked chod. You want the weight of the line. That is helping aid the hooking of the fish because there's no lead it's fixed to. The lead is just to get you out there. You're solely dependent on the weight of that line pinging that hook in its mouth. And the drag that it's causing to lift the line off the lake bed. So that's why fluorocarbon is such a massive edge fishing like this. But let me get the other 2 rods set up on bottom bait. Right then, here we go. All that's changed is the main line. Same stick, same bait. Let's see what happens. And again, same again. Let's get it out. Wow, that's all 3 rods out. Super slack lines now. They've sunk really, really well. I will just take you over and show you them actually, just so you can see just how slack they are. Hopefully you can see in here how they're just slack. They're going down just like that. Same with that one over there. Super slack. Looks like it's pointing down and I'm only fishing below the rod tip. We're not. We're right out there. So zoom you back. Yeah, it makes a massive difference. There's a couple of pole anglers in the corner. I've not seen them at the moment catch anything. Have a look round. There's more people turned up fishing the main lake. I think there's 9 on there now. So I'm the only, like, what I would call proper carp angler on here. So yeah, that's happy days, that is. And I've caught something out of that middle, which, yeah, I reckon 17 foot. But we're going to find that out before I go home. But for now, I'm going to get the kettle on and see if one of these rods pulls up tight again. Oh, finally, second coffee. I think it's about 11:30 now. I've been here 3.5 hours. I've caught a fish, but I've made 2 other videos. Like I say, if you're interested in them, have a look on the channel. But as for the channel, I just want to take this time as always to say thanks everyone for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, any kind of interaction. And yeah, just thanks for the continued support basically. I'm getting a lot of positive comments. Haven't really had anything negative or I see negative. It's all been good comments. So it seemed that I've got a really good audience, which is you lot. So yeah, good on you. And yeah, I just want to take the time in each video as always to say thanks very much. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider it. It really does help me. And also, so does like giving the video a thumbs up. It does boost it up somehow on the list. I don't really know still. I'm still fairly new. But yeah, I just want to say again, as always, thanks. It is genuinely meant and it is massively helpful to me. So yeah, nice one. Right, I'm going to spin you back round now and let's see if we can get another carp for the vlog. Well, just looking back at the clips I've taken, I've cast the chod out, but I don't think I pressed record on the older phone. So I said, oh yeah, it's out there, you've seen it go out. You didn't, because I didn't bloody take the clip. So I'm going to bring it in and I'm going to chuck it just in a slightly different place. But never mind, keeping it real, eh? Wow, here's the chod I was going to show you. It looked a lot better than this when I put it out. Let me show you the hook bait. Look at that. Bastard craze have had it. Can you see that? Well, they've absolutely mullered it. So I've got to check it's still as buoyant as it was before I cast it out. But yeah, I knew there was crayfish in here, but that's not been out long. Okay, it's still sitting okay. We're going to chuck it back out again, but I don't think chods are the way forward then, because it's been out there half an hour. Well, I better bring the other 2 rods in and check, I think, because to be fair, I got that first bite by the time I'd made a drink and had 1 sip of coffee, so better bring these in and make sure I've still got baits on these. And there we have it. No bait. Just an empty hair. Dirty, dirty bloody crayfish. Right, I need a rethink because that bait's been in half an hour and it was a fresh bait. Or near enough fresh, wasn't it? It'd only been in the water 15 minutes prior. Right, let's bring the other rod in and let's see if there's anything left on that one. Ah, this one has got a bait. That one's got a bait and it's not been touched, so still smells good. That's a good zone over there, no crayfish. There, not so good. There, not good either. I'll have a rethink. I hope I just got that kingfisher. So this I've just put a new stick on, and I'm going to try this one in the margin here because I did have it earlier in the margin and never really give it a chance. Don't know if I just pick that kingfish up, it just comes flying by. So we'll put this back in the margin. A little tip, when you're sinking your lines on your fluoro, pull it off and pull it into your rod line clip straight away, because then it can't spool off on you. Right, I've come up with a treble fake sweet corn. I've got 2 sinking corns and 1 pop-up corn, so it sort of sits like a stack on top of each other. Plastic baits, then it is. Cray's not going to get them off, are they? Well, in the last half an hour then, I've basically been sat with a naked chod rig out there that the crays have been playing basketball with and keep me ups. I've been fishing. The right hand rod's actually had a bait on, which hasn't been touched, which is good. The left hand rod, I've not even had a bait on. So a little tip, if you do come in and fish on the new lake, there is crayfish in here. I think there's quite a few of them, if I'm honest. Regular recast, purely so you can check your bait. Don't chuck it out and leave it all day, winding at home time, you've got no bait on your rig, because you may as well not have been here, you know. I'm glad I brought that rod in. I only brought it in because I hadn't done a clip of showing you the actual chod setup. Still not even sure I have, thinking about it. But yeah, plastic bait on the left now. I'll stick with the wafter on the right, which is in the margin. The chod, I'm going to give it 20 minutes, half an hour, bring it in, and I'm going to put a different colour on, maybe a white. They might leave a white alone. Maybe it's the pinky colour that's attracting them. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I'll spin you back round and we'll see if we'll catch a fish. Well, coffee's made, as you can see from my trousers, my boots. It's a drizzly, wet old day now. Rain's coming in. I didn't bring a shelter or anything, so I'm just going to sit out in the rain as you do. But it'll be worth it if one of those rods goes off. But I'm going to bring that middle rod in again on the chod and check that after my coffee, because I imagine I've probably got half a pop-up left now, and I think we're going to change it to maybe a white. Yeah, or maybe a yellow. I might put a yellow on and try that. But I'll have my coffee and we'll see what happens. Well, the rain's definitely picking up now. Everything that's I've got out can get wet. It doesn't really matter. The phone I'll just have to put in my pocket. So if the rods go off, you won't see the bite, because yeah, I've got to try to keep my phone dry. But gonna have to check that chod shortly as well once I finish my coffee. And then yeah, if I'm gonna fish on here a little bit, I need to start planning myself to combat the crays, because I knew they was in here, but yeah, that's a bit savage, isn't it? Half an hour, nearly had your pop-up off, or getting to that way. Another half an hour, I reckon they'll either have it off or it won't have its buoyancy anymore. So yeah, need to do some thinking. I'm hoping the treble corn goes, because that's much easier, isn't it? 3 plastic bits of corn on the end. Don't even have to think about that. You just put a stick on it, throw it in. So anyway, I'm going to finish my coffee and we'll have a look what the chod looks like. Right, now the rain's eased off, let's bring in that middle rod and see how bad the pop-up is, shall we? Definitely been mullered. Time for a change. Right, well, I've actually brought the margin rod in, and I'm going to put this back where I got the bite from this morning, and see if the crays attack that. So I'm going to put that back over there, and then the chod, I'm going to change the colour. I'm going to put a yellow pop-up on, I think, or maybe a white one. That's going to go over there. Didn't catch that in time. Fortunately, the PVA doesn't melt very quick in winter. What I will do is I'll just zoom in and show you this fluorocarbon. I'm not doing anything to it, look at it. Just sinks itself. You see it's laying on there from the rod tip down. So it's creeping back. That is why this is such a massive edge, and that will just sink and keep pulling itself down. You see, look at that. And then you give it 5 minutes and all this slack here, that will all be gone. Right, so I've changed now. We're going to have a white pop-up on the old chod, and on the top of it, tipped it off with a bit of glow in the dark corn. So that's the setup. I've moved the top bead back, so I'm fishing it a lot closer to the leg because there's no weed here. It's a fairly hard bottom, or silty hard bottom, you know. But that is the setup. I can't remember running through it, but it's a no trace bead on one of the inline safety bits, a running chod, a line saver bead, Korda heli safe, set to drop the lead, which is a 2 ounce lead, which is the smallest I've got, but it's too big. It should be a 1. But anyway, let's get it back out. Well, yep, they're done. 6 nice sausages, a couple of bread rolls. I'm meant to be not doing that, but it's cold today. I need the calories. That's going to be my view for lunch and this afternoon. It's beginning to rain again now. The people who are in that corner, you can just see a vehicle through there. I've not seen them catch anything. And then there's a bloke up there in a white van. I've not seen him catch anything. I haven't had any indications or seen anything. So at the minute, I think I'm lucky to have just the one. But we've got the afternoon, we'll see what happens. But I think next time on here I might try zigs, because if they're all sitting up in the water, yeah, I might have just got lucky with one diving down and seeing that patch of bait. But maybe that was a one and done sort of thing, who knows. But anyway, let me get me dinner and I'll bring you back when something happens. As you'll see, the rain's still dropping out the sky. Those rods are going to come in the next couple of minutes. I'm going to get them all packed away. You'll see the marker float is up by the life ring. I could fish for another half an hour or so, but I'd sooner spend that extra time with that marker rod now. I want to know what depths I've got out there. The blokes in the corner to my left have now packed up. They're literally going to be driving away any second, so I can chuck the float left. It's not going to affect anyone, and I can chuck it right quite away and it's not affecting anyone. So I want to sort of map out this half of the lake depth wise. I want to find some silty areas as well, because that's where the fish, if they're on the bottom, they're going to be sat in the silt, because that's the warmest place. The silt holds the most heat. There's no warmth in gravel, so I don't want to be, a lot of these have felt quite heavy drops, my recast. I don't want to be on the gravel, I want to be in the silt. So instead of sitting there for another half an hour behind rods that, if I'm honest, I don't think are going to go off, I'm going to use my time wisely and find some spots where I think I can get the rods to go off next time. So let me get that packed away and then we'll chuck the marker rod around. So everything's packed away, all except one lone rod that's over the area where I did have a bite from this morning, and one net. Everything else I've packed away, got the unhooking mat gone away, sling, etc. And that's just a little tip. Always leave a rod out, always, till the last minute. The last thing you should always pack away is your landing net, but the second from last thing you should pack away is your last rod. Everything else can go away, like when you've done a night, bivvy, bed share, all the cooking crap, all that, all the bait, all that stuff. Get it all packed away. sometimes you see people that wind the rods in and fold them up and then pack their entire kit away after that. You lose hours and hours a year fishing if you do it that way, whereas this way you do get the maximum. You only need one rod out there to catch, so while you're packing away, just leave one in. But today it's not happened. I think I got lucky, to be honest, on the bottom. This morning I think I just dropped on one, it had it, and that was it, because I've had nothing since then to tell me that they're there or they're feeding on the bottom. So I am going to get the last rod wound in now, get my net packed away, then we are going to do some marker float work. There we have it, wound that in, crayfished. Hook's still sharp, I can still see the point, but yeah, even the white doesn't matter, so colour doesn't matter, does it? Here's another little tip. If you're like me and you leave your chods on, if you've got a naked chod and you leave it set up, poke the point of your hook in your boilie. Stops it getting caught in anything in your rod bag. The boilie's knackered anyway, you're going to throw it away, and it just saves your rig from getting damaged. So there's another little tip. Okay, it's time for us to do some marker work before I go home, because it will pay off in future sessions for me. My marker rod, it's not really a designated marker rod. It's a fourth scope I've got, 10'3.5" test curve. Same reel that you'll see I've been using in the videos. That's loaded with Nash 20-pound. I don't know if it's bullet braid or spod braid. I can't remember, but it's pretty good stuff, to be honest. And this coming off the reel, which is a lot thicker, is a 30-pound Korda armour cord leader. That's a braided shock leader, so I don't crack off on the cast. To be fair, with a 10'3.5" rod, you're not really going to fish more than 100 yards, and that's a good day for me with the wind behind me. But on the line, if I come in close, I have a big-eyed size 8 swivel that runs up and down freely on the line. Okay, and over there's a mud sleeve covering one of the quick clips, and on there I've just got a 2.5 ounce lead, so I can change lead weights easily without having to break anything down. Then if we go down the line, you'll see a green buffer bead, again to another size 8 big-eyed swivel, which again has a quick clip on it, which means I can take the marker float off. So when you want to find a spot to begin with, you want to use a bare lead. I know a lot of you know this already, but some of you won't. This thing cushions so much of the feeling of the drop. So find your spot without a float, then put your float on to show where your spot is and check the depth. That's what clipping it back on and off is for. That's why I use it like that. So basically I can just, it's ease, it's all about ease. So I'm going to have a little chuck around now with just a bare lead, see if I can find any silty bits, and then we're going to chuck one straight in the middle with the float on, just because I want to see the depth. So let's see what happens, shall we? So I've chucked right to the far side. I know I'm not fishing there. Crikey, that's only just hit the bottom, so that's a good 10 foot on them reeds at least. But I want to know from that side to this side if there's anything silt wise really. So just gently, some people hold the rod like that, some people hold it there. I personally have a finger on the braid as I'm pulling, because you feel everything through that braid then. Like that, it's going tap, 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 tap. So we're on gravel there, which everybody loves, but not in the winter. You want to be in the silt, I think. So we'll keep coming. Vicious tap in there. What I'm looking for is a smooth drag, just for the tip to come through smoothly with no bouncing. Still the same, still gravelly at the moment. Oh, that's horrendous there. That's really vicious. Really, really vicious gravel. So it's perfectly clean. Some of that would be great. There. Okay, that bit there. That was where the silt starts. So put your line under the clip and carry on. You don't have to wind in and cast out, just carry on. And now it's beginning to tap again. So that was the silt pocket that I obviously got the bite from earlier. I landed in it because I said I felt it, and it was in the silt. So let's see where it was now. pretty much centre of the lake. So you just soft, and then we'll just check. That's so perfectly smooth. That is exactly where I want to be fishing on the bottom. So now I'm just going to cast left and right of it to see how big an area it is. Now that hit gravel. I know before I pull this that rod's going to tap, because I can tell. So we're back on the gravel there. So it's not a big zone, is it? Not to the left anyway, we'll try to the right now. That may be back in the silt. It wasn't a confident tap. Yeah, there's silt there. And now we're back on gravel. So basically from the centre of this swim to the centre of that reed line, I've got a silt pocket. So now I'm going to check the depth. So all I'm going to do, I just want to know the depth in the middle. I guessed 17 feet earlier. That's what I guessed. I haven't plumbed it. So put the float on, out to the spot, see what we've got. That was definitely the silt. Right. So, a little tip is, get your tip down to the water near enough and hold the rod in the same position. I know where a foot is on these rods because I have a little mark on this rod. So it's 1. You have to allow for the float as well, so there's nearly a foot already. So pull a little bit off, that'll make it 2 now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I was a foot off. I guess 17, it's 16. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to wind back down, put this under the clip and leave it. So next session I can just wrap it around the sticks, put my rods out and we're straight in the silt. So we'll bring it back down till it bites. So where I'm going to... Right, so I'm back on it now, so that's where I'd land when I cast. Re-clip it back up and wind it in. Just have one little practice cast to make sure it is right where I want it. Perfect, and we're back in the silt. So that's the marker work done. Right, all that's left to do now is get this packed away and then say goodbye to you lot. And that brings us to the end of the vlog, unfortunately. Bailiff's just been round and said, yeah, got about 10 minutes, mate, before the gate's shut. I'm all ready to go. He's also just informed me that there's 15 other anglers on the complex. Nobody's caught a fish whatsoever. So East Coast has come out on top with 1 carp of about 10 pounds. So top rod for today, happy days. Hopefully you've enjoyed what you've seen. It's been an interesting one, especially with the crays, etc. I appreciate some of you at the end will have maybe turned off and not watched the marker rod section because you already know it, but you have to remember not everybody does, and there is people watching this that don't understand it or have never done it. So hopefully you do, and hopefully you understand why I've done what I've done and why I've got the rod set the way I've got it set, and that helps you progress in your fishing. And again, if you did like the video or what you've seen, remember thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed and you want to, please do. Massively helps me out. And until next time, all there is to say is be lucky if you're out on the bank. Take it easy, and I'll see you on the next vlog.